What's up, fools? Phil slash Polygon here. Welcome to. Oh my god. Sup, fools? Seriously? Oh my god. Roll through it, bro. Roll through it. Welcome to episode 31, talking more Dark Souls 2 PvP, starting a little bit of a new chapter. Quick housekeeping note. I threw the last 10 episodes in a playlist, just like I did with the first 10 and the second 10, and now the third 10, just to try and track things for my own posterity. So those are out there if you want to check them out. And hot on the heels of the last one, I was expressing a little bit of grief around kind of the landscape of PvP, some woes that I was feeling and some observations about the degradation of the community. And I wasn't sure how much longer I was going to be playing in earnest. And I thought, you know, before I jump ship all together, let me try and give this one last try. Let me try something completely new, completely fresh, really try and give the system a little shock. And I gotta say, it worked. I'm kind of having a second wind with Dark Souls 2 PvP, and I owe it all to this little beauty right here, my trusty Lucerne. I love Lucy, dude, not because this thing is the best weapon that everybody overlooks, not because the damage is so great, not because this is instant OP. Quite the contrary, this thing sucks. It sucks. And I love it. I love the way it's making me play. I love the way it's making me think about things. And I am back out here having a blast. So let's talk Lucy. Episode 31. Here we go. Alright, so as per the norm, let's take a quick look at the build, because speaking of I Love Lucy, I got some splaining to do. I am level 190. As part of my endeavor to try and mix it up, try something fresh, I put together my first fuck the meta build that I'm actually going out there and doing some PvP with. It's a super quality build, I guess, 50 strength, 50 dex, I've also got 50 vigor, plenty of endurance, plenty of vitality, 105 in agility, so a really solid melee build. I can use all the weapons. And of all the weapons I could possibly use, I picked a Lucerne. I'll talk about that a little bit down the way. I could have gone higher than 190. This is hardly that big of a fuck you to the meta. But I wanted to keep it melee, and what am I going to do? Put points in int or faith? I don't know. I wasn't interested in that with this build. So let me also call myself out. I can't get it out of my head. I can't get the subfoos out of my head. I got to call myself out on that. I don't know where that came from. That is not a normal part of my vernacular. I guess it makes sense, though, because I must admit, I'm trying to up my street cred of late. So I've been saying things like sup foos, and I've been listening to some more aggressive music. And I put some pretty bitchin' chrome on my car. I bought a hoodie. So yeah, man, the street cred is nigh. The street cred will never be nigh as long as you say things like the street cred is nigh. Okay, enough about that. Let's talk Lucerne, man. Like, this thing sucks. That is my opinion. That is a personal opinion. But I wanted to pick a weapon that was exceedingly challenging to play with, that I never see out there in PvP. I have never seen a Lucerne in PvP. I don't think I've ever seen a Lucerne in PvE. And having used it, I totally understand why. Because it is terrible. I think it's the weakest of the halberd class weapons. Maybe the scythe is weaker. But for a quality weapon, it does terrible damage, and being a halberd style weapon, it falls victim to the sweet spot system. So you have to hit somebody just right with the end of this thing. And I don't know, maybe it's in my head, but I feel like the sweet spot on this Lucerne is sweeter, or less sweet, I guess, than any of the other halberds. Maybe you have to hit them with that little beak at the end sticking out there, which is the equivalent of trying to drop a nail at the end of a 10-foot pole on top of somebody's head. But man, it is tough. So it doesn't do great damage. It has a really long wind up on the attacks, so it's really difficult to punish people. It's pretty difficult to trade with people, and perhaps most crushing of all, it no longer benefits from the Leo ring. That was one of the great things about it. It was a pretty challenging weapon to use in the original Dark Souls, in Dark Souls 1. But if you were able to do it effectively, you could pair it with the Leo ring and do some pretty hard-hitting shots. Not so much the case anymore. So I have no idea why anybody would use this thing, aside from the fact that they're trying to just do a challenge build, which is exactly what I'm doing. Because like I said, I love this thing. I love how it is making me play. I love the kind of light it shines on these matches, because you have to pay so such close attention to what the other guy is doing. You cannot get away with anything with this weapon. So yeah, man, I am out here getting wrecked on the regular with my Lucerne. And like I said, I have never had more fun losing in Dark Souls 2 PvP. Because it's basically putting a big fat spotlight on all of my bad habits. All of the things that I was taking for granted when I had a fast swinging weapon, when I had a harder hitting weapon, completely go out the window with this thing. You have to be super... Oh, I'm also working on my spell parries a little bit too, at times. But you have to really, because of that sweet spot, pay attention to your spacing against the other guys. You have to really pay attention to your footwork, because it is pretty easy to punish this thing with backstabs, especially for the roll gods out there when you come up against the MLG rollers. And I don't know, I'm having a great time, and it is really breaking me of a lot of bad habits. Maybe not illustrated in some of these videos, but I must say that because you can't get away with this weapon, the wins that you do get feel phenomenal. There is no way you can possibly win with this weapon unless you just put out a really good game, unless you just play really well. Me, at least. I should throw out a disclaimer that says, you know, it is entirely possible that guys better than me can go out there and just wreck everything in sight with a Lucerne. I am not that guy. I am not able to do that with this weapon. And I would say, all you guys out there running around with your katanas and your straight swords and your rapiers, pick up a Lucerne and really take a look at what you're actually doing. It is a harsh and humbling fucking lesson. And this is, of course, all personal conjecture and all that kind of thing. But I think of myself as somebody who is not motivated solely by winning. I do not live or die by how much I glow. And if you are somebody with a similar mindset, I would absolutely recommend going out there and picking up, if not a Lucerne, some other weapon that you just think is trash and that you never see in PvP, just to use and get familiar with and try something new and just mix it up and really stretch. I feel like I'm really stretching myself using this weapon, and it has been a wholly good time. I don't think that actually connected, but okay. It's part of the landscape. Oh, and the wake up, yeah. Very hungry. Look at how much he glows. Very impressive. And it's been great. I don't mean to repeat myself and just keep saying that same thing over and over and over again, but it's been pretty wonderful. And maybe just trying to head off a little bit of criticism that I predict. I acknowledge that I am playing very reactively in a lot of these videos. That was something I was very conscious of, because I did not want to fall into like the comfort trap of being completely reactive, where you do absolutely nothing unless the other guy swings, or just hanging back, waiting around for an opportunity to roll BS punish or something like that. I've made disparaging comments about that playstyle in the past. As effective as it is, as effective as people can be with it, it's just not for me. It's not my preference. And so I was trying to be smart. I was not trying to play overly reactive, but I had to be a little bit defensive, just because it is so easy to punish this weapon. There's almost always a case where somebody will beat you to the punch if you try and trade with somebody with this thing. It is really easy to punish this thing. And so I was trying to just really get a good read on what the other guy was doing, really scope out what the other guy was doing, and attack and try and identify when was a good time to attack. I was trying to identify patterns. I was trying to pick things up and really try and read the other opponent. And that is a lesson I will take away from this, regardless of whatever it is that I pick up next. So another thing I kind of had on the brain over the course of these matches was parries. Great timing on that terrible missed parry attempt of mine right there. I've been thinking a lot about parries, and over the course of these matches and trying to study my opponents and make smart attacks, I also tried to make smart parry attempts. I put a soft cap on myself of 3 parries. I would throw no more than 3 parries over the course of any given match, except for the spell parries where I was trying to practice those and things like that. And my thinking was, if I throw more than 3 parry attempts, I suck at parrying. That is personal opinion. If you throw more than that, that's cool. If it works for you, that's cool. If you agree with me, that's cool. If you think 3 is too much, all cool, all good. But the 3 number, if I throw more than 3, I figure I would have missed 2 of them. And in the NG Plus arena, where crits are buffed, or in NG Plus in general, here's a great example. So this guy, I saw him with his Havels, I saw him with his Twin Blade, and I figured, yeah, he's just going to come in with a regular rolling attack. So I parried early and I got chewed up by that combo. I noticed, though, that he had that little delay in there. So on the next time, I account for the delay and I make a successful parry. I think I catch him with another one over here, too. I'm a little bit chagrined by the damage that was being put out by those ripostes. I mean, good God, Havel, how much health do you actually have? There's 2 parries and he's not even to have, or 2 ripostes and he's not even to have health. That kind of shit is commonplace in the arena, though, and a backstab, and he's still got a quarter of his HP left. So whew, that guy is a tanky tanking tanks. But yeah, I figured 3 was a good number. If I threw more than that, it meant that I was just guessing and not. He apparently learned from it too, so he accounted with a longer delay there. Good on him. Everybody's learning. See, everybody's paying attention. But yeah, I figured that 3 was a good number. Any more than that, I'm just guessing. I'm not paying attention. I'm not reading. I'm not making smart parry attempts. I am just guessing based on habit that most guys attack when they roll, even if they haven't demonstrated that. And so I was trying to be a little bit smart with those as well. In addition to keeping my spacing, or trying to keep my spacing, trying to hit with that sweet spot, trying to really read the opponent, it was all just one wonderful package of learning. But yeah, I have had parries on the brain because I've got a little bit of parry attempt fatigue, man. I'm sure we all do. The guys that are out there just swinging their shields all day long. And I get it. I totally get it. Riposte damage is out of control, man. I totally understand why you'd be attempting this stuff too much. But I mean, good God, come on, buddy. Make a prediction. And you know, it's just one of those things. I don't want to be one of those guys. I would like to try and get smarter. I would like to try and get better. I would like to try and be predictive and intelligent with my parries and not just luck into one to end these matches. And, you know, I've heard, oh shit, I should have seen this coming a mile away, and I did a terrible job of rolling. I think he gives me a decapitate too. Yeah, he had to let me know he was that good. But yeah, I've heard a lot of guys that are, you know, really fantastically skilled players at PvP, and they say, you know, be sparing with your parries. The most important one you have is the first one. Once you throw out that initial parry, you have broadcast to your opponent that you might not be fishing for them, but you do have them at the ready. And the old like sucker parry, the where did that come from? I did not see that coming. Those are my favorite kind to land. Those are my favorite kind to get hit by, because I feel like those are the ones that I actually learn from as well, where you just don't see them coming. And so I'm trying to be a little bit more predictive with those. 3 is the magic number. And that was just another little fun thing I was doing. There's a terrible one. And there was just another little fun thing I was doing, trying to improve and, you know, shock the system. But yeah, so what are your thoughts on that, on kind of the cult of parry? Because I do feel like I see more parry attempts in Dark Souls 2 than I did in Demon Souls or Dark Souls 1. You know, it's always been a part of the game. It's always been a very strategic move to have in the toolbox and have at the ready, because they're so effective. They are the great equalizer. But I will say, I feel like parry spam is fairly out of control, and nothing gives me more rage than some dude sitting there throwing out parry after parry after parry 4 in a row, and you're just standing there doing nothing, staring at the guy, and he keeps going, and you're thinking, oh my God, you can't possibly throw another one after this. I'm gonna go ahead and attack, and oh, I got caught by the 6th one. That's happened to me a couple of times, and I will say, I feel like there is nothing you can do. I won't say you. I'll say me. I'm not, because this is personal preference. This is just me talking. I feel like there is nothing I can do that will make me. Oh God. I'll get back to the welcome gesture after that. He was just a little bit of a huckleberry over my persimmon. But yeah, there is nothing I can do that I feel dumber or sloppier or noobier about than throwing out multiple parries in a row. I think it just looks so goofy, and I feel so foolish in the couple times that I've done that. Or even two, you throw one and you miss, and you throw another one immediately and you catch them and probably end the match with the riposte, and oh, it just feels awful. I'm not a fan. So like the 3 attempts, the soft cap was just something goofy that I put on myself over the course of these matches to try and make sure I don't fall into the habit of looking for parries and not contribute to the culture of parry spam, which I do feel is a little bit heavy currently. So let me know your thoughts on that. Actually, let me know your strategies too. Do you have any like super slick parry strategies? Because I've seen a lot of the parry guides and the commentaries from super skilled PvP players who seem to universally say that like the most effective parry is the first one you throw. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of the multi-parry strategy, if that can even be called a strategy. So the 3 attempt soft cap limit was just, it's my own thing. It's the way I'm playing. You know, parry spam is easy to punish if you know how to do it. Yes, it is. Anything is easy to punish if you know how to do it. Maybe not with a Lucerne, but there are definitely things you can do against it. I'm just kind of curious. Are you somebody that, do you parry willy-nilly? It be just because they're so damn effective. You don't care how it looks. All you need to do is land one. Or are you somebody that holds them so tight to the chest that you will only throw one when you are damn certain it will connect? Or maybe in high probability situations like rolling attacks. A lot of guys, when they roll into you, will attack. And so it's a pretty safe bet that you throw a parry and it will land. I don't know. Give me your thoughts on that. Anyways, I'm going to wrap it up. Again, I'm having a blast with my Lucerne, which I think is the most terrible weapon in the game. Give me your thoughts. Are you guys doing anything similar? What are you doing for challenge builds? What are you doing to kind of stretch a little bit? Thoughts, feedback, comments, always welcome. You guys are awesome. I'm going to bow out. If you catch me in the arena with my Lucerne, don't go easy on me. Wreck my ass. Because I'm learning a ton. I'm having fun again, which is cool. And I will catch you guys in the next one. All right, see ya.